So what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and welcome to this Google Pixel and Pixel XL what to expect video. So if you follow tech anything like I do, I'm sure that you guys have seen some rumors about some Pixel XL and Pixel phones coming, or basically a Google event which they already made clear that is coming October 4th. Now, what we're going to talk about here is what I think you can expect from this event, and you guys can go ahead and drop your comments down below so we can kind of just chat about this whole topic of what to expect from these Google phones. Alright guys, so we can expect these Google Pixel and Pixel XL phones to be released on October 4th, and they are going to be manufactured by HTC, and that's pretty nice stuff if you ask me, because the HTC 10 was a great phone, just very underrated, and nobody knows it because you got people like LG and HTC that don't have as much marketing dollars as these titans like Apple and Samsung. And so what is happening is, like, Apple and Samsung are just basically plowing all their marketing and just running over all the other manufacturers, and that makes people think that the Samsung and Apple are the only two greatest phones that are on the market, and it's just not true. People just, are being rammed with all this marketing. So I think HTC and Google partnering up is going to help HTC get some more, how would you say, some more exposure to the brand of HTC, but it's more of a Google phone, but still I think it's going to be some nice build quality on these Google phones coming up here. Now, the HTC Google Pixel and Pixel XL are basically going to be the first phones that drop the Nexus moniker, aka the Nexus branding of previous years, which has been going on for years, since the Nexus 1, the Nexus 4, the Nexus 5X, the Nexus 5, the Nexus 6P, Nexus 6, all kinds of these Nexus namings. We're going to the Pixel naming, and Google might even bring its own Pixel software to these phones, which is going to be different color scheming, and they might try to separate themselves just a little bit from the rest of the Android pack, making it a more pure Google experience, or you could say a Pixel experience, pun intended. But essentially, I think what we're going to see here is just a revised Android experience, a more colorful Google-like Android experience. But that's one thing I expect to see here. Now let's get into the next thing I expect to see. Alright guys, I expect to see Android 7.1 Nougat released on launch day of these devices. Basically, Android 7.0 is out, but they're probably going to release basically a bug patches, just a more smooth version of Android 7.0 when they release these phones, just as kind of Apple did with the iPhone 7. They released 10.0.1 with the iPhone 7 instead of 10.0 with the iPhone 7. As you can see, when you buy an iPhone 7, you're on 10.0.1 or something like that. So basically, they're going to release a revised version of Android 7.0 on the Pixel devices. I think that these phones are also going to have the Nexus Pixel launcher. So if you've seen that Nexus launcher earlier that was leaked all over the internet, you were able to download it for free in a beta trial. You're going to see basically a launcher like that with a little Google icon at the top. I'm sure you've seen it if you follow Android like that. If you haven't, just expect a pretty revised operating system within the launcher area. So the card UI is going to be a little bit different, the search widget's going to be a little bit different, and there's going to be plenty of features making this a more slick and smooth, more Google-like experience if you ask me. Now, if you're going to buy this phone, expect premium pricing. This is not going to be Nexus style pricing. This is going to probably be $649, $749 for both of these phones respectively. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. Pricing is always something we have to wait to see until it actually drops, but just expect this to be a premium price device, and it's going to feel like a premium phone. And speaking of that, let's get into the hardware of what I expect to see on these devices. So you guys can expect a Snapdragon 821 CPU, 4 gigabytes of RAM on both the Pixel, which is going to be a 5-inch device with a 1080p display, and on the 2K display, 5.5-inch Pixel XL. You can also expect, like we said, Android 7.0, 12 megapixel cameras on the rear, 8 megapixel cameras on the front, IP53 certified devices, and 32 gigabyte and 128 gigabyte capacity storages. Now they might throw in micro SD expansion, but that hasn't been confirmed, but I do expect to see that as well. That's one we're gonna have to wait to see until the launch day, but with Samsung with their micro SD expansion, I expect to see that as well. Also, I expect to see USB Type-C make its way into these Google Pixel phones as it was in the Nexus 6P. It's just going to continue going like this. Faster transfer file speeds is always going to be better, and USB-C is the wave of the future. And so expect USB-C in the new Pixel phones here in October 4th, 2016. Now, also, this phone is going to be able to be purchased unlocked from google.com, obviously. And basically, maybe Verizon is rumored to get a carrier exclusive model. So I wouldn't look out to see this phone all over the carriers right away. It might, if it gets really popular, it might go to the carriers. But just expect this to be a typical buy it unlocked online type of device here for the Google Pixel and Pixel XL. But we do expect to see some pretty premium devices here with those two devices. But that's pretty much it. What I expect to see is a pure Google experience, probably even more Google than ever before in these Pixel devices. Let me know your thoughts on these devices and what do you want to see in the Pixel XL and the Pixel device coming here on October 4. And comment down below and we could talk about that in the comment section. And yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap this video up. If you guys enjoyed it, please go ahead and click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more technology-based reviews, discussions, everything and anything that comes to mind tech. And I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well and peace.